This is what we're talking about, the financial violence that's going on right now, because no one came out and said, you're being charged 3% on $200,000. Nobody actually said that. You're just led to believe that. But also, nobody actually told you you're being charged 3% on the unpaid balance every month for 360 months either. They didn't tell you that either.
No, I mean, if they tell you that, you're gonna be like, "What? That's ludicrous!" Like someone in the chat said, "That's
Exactly. Somebody in the
ludicrous."
chat said that's ludicrous. You're talking about financial violence. You see, folks, listen, this is why you want to read this article, because we're playing the game with two sets of rules. Okay. I said that the powers that be understand money as multidimensional. It does a lot of things in a lot of different ways, and we're playing it in two dimensions. We make it and we spend it. We make it and we spend it. But the bankers are taking that and they're doing, they make it, they spend it, and then we're going to do a calculation that will allow them to purchase a home and their cars and their education, but we're going to do it in such a way as that they believe that they're getting this low interest rate. And then they're going to, my payment is low and I'm going to keep on paying this, but they have no idea how much interest they're paying over time. Let me take a look at this thing. Okay, because in the first year on this mortgage, the bank wants you to pay this loan down by $4,175.62, while the bank is receiving $5,942.90. I want to ask this question, folks. If you're working hard to pay down this low interest rate loan, quote unquote, if you're working hard to pay it down and you're only paying it down by $4,000 in the first year, how fair is it for the bank to charge you almost $6,000 in interest just to pay your loan down by $4,000? Folks, that is $10,000 paid out. Okay? Says, where's that article published? Listen, folks, this is on my website, PILLmethod.com. PILLmethod.com. The article is published on my website, PILLmethod.com. So I got more articles there. So if you read the article, you go all the way down and you see that there's more articles after that. So just click on it and you see that you'll be on the Pill Method website. And this article is called The New Slavery. Okay, The New Slavery. The new slavery is believing that you're freed from slavery, but you are in bondage, and the chains that are keeping you in bondage is your inability to figure out how the bank is doing what they're doing, so that you stay in bondage, paying them interest, paying them rent on money your entire life. That is the new slavery. That is financial violence, because it would be so easy to teach everybody these things. You know what's so bad about this, Flame? It's this. What would be wrong in a society where everybody wins, where everybody can make money? What would be wrong with that? Do you know what the main problem with all of this is? If I go to the country club, I'm paying to go to an exclusive club, all right, where I can hang out with like-minded people, correct? Am I telling the truth here? Okay. So I'm making enough money so that I can pay the dues and I could go to this club. But there are people who are working at the club that can't afford to join the club, because somebody has to serve the dinner. Somebody has to be the caddy at the club. Somebody has to do the work that keeps the club running. So here's my thing. What if the people who worked in the club understood how money actually worked? If they understood how money actually worked, do you realize that the people who worked at the club could also join the club? And then what fun would it be if the people who work at the club could also join the club? You see, there's something about the haves and the have-nots. The haves feel better when the have-nots have less. But when the have-nots can start to accumulate wealth as well, then what is the fun in having all that money? And Credit Goddess, I want to thank you so much for breaking down just part of what we have to talk about today, how the bank is kind of letting us believe that it's a low interest rate, but they have turned this thing around to make it a very high interest cost. I'm looking at a low interest rate, but my interest cost means I'm going to pay back 51% of what I borrowed. You see, the thing is, folks, I couldn't do that to you. Okay. I couldn't say, let me borrow $10 from you. Okay. You couldn't come to me and borrow $10 from me. And I would say, pay me $15 tomorrow. That's 50% interest. Okay. I couldn't say, I'll lend you $10, but I want you to pay me back 15. You would say that's highway robbery. But banking has done it in such a way that you're not understanding that you're actually paying 51% when you have that 3% staring you in the face. Folks, that is financial violence, and we don't even know we've been violated. What's up with that?
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life, and it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.